Are you sure that's a word? Pedophilic. Is that a word? Pedophilic. But you'll see what we're talking about in a minute. Offending women. Our first letter writer sends us a little note to say no matter what he does, calling women nice things gets him into trouble. Second letter comes to us from Devonport, New South Wales. The chap writes to us that most people in the United States are fat-minded and bigoted fools. Ah, yes, all this because a black man is running for the US presidency. And the last letter is about a chap who writes to us because his 22-year-old son was hit on by a 13-year-old vixen. All this and a terrific panel coming up in just a moment. Don't go away.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Hey, good evening everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half an hour and a terrific lineup of panellists. First up tonight, hello Marcus.
Hello Mitch, looks like you should have been hosting the ARIA Awards last night, but you look magnificent.
Yeah. A couple of award-winning prospects with this shirt, mate. Hey, you've been away.
I went to the grand final.
How long ago was that? Month ago?
Couple of weeks. Go to the Spring Carnival shortly, so somebody has to do it.
How good is life for you?
Not too bad at the minute. Just we're having a bit of fun, as you should do in this life.
You must have a very understanding missus, mate.
Well, she's understanding that I'm over there, and that's about what she understands about it.
Good on you. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks,
nice to have you. For the first time, hello, Danny.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm really, really well. Good weather.
Now, where do we hear you?
92.9 at the moment.
What times?
At the moment, Sunday sessions at the Rivervale Hotel, 4 till 8 every Sunday, and late nights with Danny and Matt every night, 9 till midnight.
Fantastic. Is it fun?
Ooh. Oh, it's a lot of fun. A lot of talking.
You were telling me earlier that your demographic is 18 to 32 women.
Women, yes. They're the ones that we're trying to sell to. They're the ones with the money. They tell their husbands what to do with the money.
I wonder if that means the 18 or 32-year-old men don't have any money, or they're dictated to how they spend their money.
18 to 32-year-old women is my demographic as well, but I play a little bit either side. That's just how I roll.
Hello, Lukey and Suzie. How you doing?
Good.
Good? What are you laughing at?
Oh, yeah,
Lukey,
nothing.
yes, I know.
I know,
Nothing?
so cute.
How's the world of Suzie?
Good, I'm fantastic. Been away a lot, having a great time.
Question.
Yes.
Economic downturn.
Yes.
What does that mean for the world of architecture?
Well, I'd say, to be honest, I think it will hit residential market in a couple of years. It'll be 2 years. We've all got enough work for 2 years. We generally, that's the lag, and then 2 years it'll be very quiet, or
Question.
quieter.
How's the pocket of your big client at the moment? Has it taken a battery?
One of my big clients.
Yes.
One of my big clients, no, he's fine. He doesn't have any money, he told me the other day, in shares anymore.
Fantastic. How lucky is that?
Well, he is very lucky, and that's very lucky because we're spending his money very quickly.
Very good. Lukey, welcome again.
It's always good to be here.
How's the world of wrestling?
The world of wrestling's always going off. Explosive Pro Wrestling got our biggest show of the year coming up.
When?
November 8 at the Venville Rec Centre in Maylands in WA.
What can we expect?
Triple threat cage match for the EPW title.
What is that?
It's basically 3 men enter the cage. The first one out of there will be proclaimed the EPW champion.
Oh, the first one out of there?
The first one out of the cage. So you've got to try and fight and bite and claw your way out. And the first one
and the other blokes have to try and stop you as well as trying to get out.
Oh, yeah.
What is EP?
Explosive Pro Wrestling.
Ah.
And you know who loves the wrestling? This committee absolutely loves it.
He's been to a few of our shows.
There you go.
He's a fan.
Centimetre perfect.
Here we go, first letter. Dear Mitch, how can calling anyone gorgeous get you in trouble? Well, it's happened to me, twice. I just don't get it. What sort of politically correct, restrictive society have we turned into? The first time, I accidentally sent a text message which began, "Hello, gorgeous," to my girlfriend. It wasn't meant for her, and when she realised, everything hit the fan. It was an innocuous message, and the girl I sent it to I always call gorgeous. She fancies herself as a bit of a Hollywood type. The second time was after I'd just completed a small business deal with a woman. I was so excited and appreciative that beamingly I smiled and said to the woman, "Thank you so much, gorgeous." She took so much offence that she cancelled the deal on the spot. Is it a woman thing? Is it a bloke not understanding thing? Or is this just a thing that needs to be ignored rather than fed, and it comes to us from Perry Perry, Embleton, Western Australia. Marcus, what do you say to poor old Perry?
Yes, Perry, you poor, perplexed person. I can hear you, brother. I hear where you're coming from. Men are confused. We don't know what we should be doing when it comes to chivalry, when it comes to opening car doors. Most of us are pretty happy to do that. Carry the jacket over the lady in the rain. Maybe even... Susie's about to gag there, but we'll get to that in a moment. Look, we are confused because I often, with my friends, female friends, say sweetie, darl, gorgeous, but in a friendly way, not patronising. If I said it to Danny, who I've met 30 minutes ago, maybe it wouldn't have that same warmth about it. But I can sympathise with Perry here because a lot of times it's meant in a very friendly and warm manner, as opposed to something sleazy and over the top.
Have you had your head bitten off over it?
No, because you pick your targets, so to speak.
Exactly.
You speak to the people who you know well enough to do that. So that's I think, where you draw the line.
Okay, you pick your targets. And if somebody was to call you gorgeous, what do you say to them?
Oh, I just say thank you. You've got to take a compliment these days.
Is there someone you wouldn't take it from, though?
No, well, see, I think it depends on the context, you know, like if my boss was to turn around to me and say, hello, gorgeous, I'd feel a little bit, it would feel a little bit strange in the workplace.
Okay,
but if we were out or whatever, and it's still my boss, but if we were out and he said, hey, gorgeous, how are you, then I'd accept it. But back to the girlfriend thing, sorry.
Yeah.
I personally, if I had a boyfriend sending a text message saying, hello, gorgeous, to another girl, I wouldn't be very happy at all. Because that's got flirtation, you know, you're flirting. There's connotations there and I don't like it.
But flirting's innocent.
Oh, but...
Men flirt all the time. Women are worst at it.
But I don't message guys when I'm with a partner saying, hello, gorgeous. Because then the person gets the wrong message.
But you don't have to be with the guy to be actually sending messages to other blokes for whatever reason, saying, hello, handsome, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?
I'm not into it. Not into it? Not into
so
it.
So that breaks the rules for you.
You've got to save that for who you're with.
All right, gorgeous, what do you reckon?
It's so inappropriate. I've had enough. That's enough. Don't ever call that to me.
Okay, I'll
Look, I think it's horses for courses. It's okay and acceptable to address friends, girlfriends, or friends with benefits as gorgeous. But to address...
We understand your bar.
But to address a woman involved in a business transaction with gorgeous is totally inappropriate, except if that woman is a prostitute and you are finishing a small business deal, as you mentioned. So maybe that's where, it would have been appropriate.
Have you ever had that said to you in a professional sense?
As a prostitute?
No.
No.
Well, I don't know.
No.
What about not as a prostitute?
No,
on those rare occasions?
As an architect, I have been called many things, and some of them, the better ones, are called gorgeous. Generally, I look at the age of the person, and if they're older, they just don't have a clue. Really, they just don't. So you just sort of let it go. I do say, look, I'd really appreciate if while we're working and we're talking about work, you didn't call me gorgeous. However, when it comes down to someone who's the same age as me and they called me gorgeous, I would actually say, look, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable at work.
Don't like it. Suzie doesn't like it. Lukey?
Gorgeous. He's going to call you gorgeous now.
The first danger here is the SMS sending to the wrong person.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do, and I've got to tell you, my biggest fear used to be being burned alive. My new biggest fear in life is sending a dirty SMS to my mum, because she's got a mobile. Actually, no, I think my biggest fear would be if she responded in a positive way if I sent something to her. That'd be bad. But that's your first problem right there. You've got to be careful. You've got to check who you're messaging. My second thing is, you've got to admit, it's kind of condescending and it's kind of sexist to be talking to women like that. And I think this guy's just got to treat the bitches with more respect.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about what Barack Obama's chances of being elected the first black president of the United States are. When we come back, don't go away. His chances are exceptionally... Again, welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send the panel a letter to have it discussed here, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now, which is sweetandsour@iinet.net.au, or care of the station you are now watching. It'll land here, and for every letter that we figure is terrific for comment, and we do read out, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week is Choke, starring
Sam Rockwell.
Whoa, very good, Lukey. And it starts when? Next week?
I believe it's out in cinemas now.
Very good. not just a wrestling mug.
It's true.
Hello panellists, in spite of all the opinion polls, I just know that Barack Obama doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell because of the racist nature of small-minded Americans. I figure that while there are some terrific people in the United States, after electing W, the worst US president in history, twice, the majority are fat-minded and bigoted fools. What worries me now is that I believe Australians are far more racist than any group in the States, and if a black man ran for the top job here, he too wouldn't stand a chance. Think about it. We still have people in this country who don't appreciate nor want the separation of church and state because they are Bible bashers. It's the same bunch that would string up a non-Anglo-European running for top office in this place. Liz of Davenport in New South Wales. Lukey, what do you make of this?
Well, first up, I got to agree that George W. Bush, worst president ever. And we got competition from William Henry Harrison here. I did some research. This guy was in office for 31 days before he died. 15 of those days, he was too sick in hospital to actually make any decisions. Still, better president than George W. Bush. Gotta be honest. But I think that Barack's gonna get in. It's gonna be easy for him. And I think that in Australia, we're open-minded enough that we could have a black president. It's just a matter of picking the right person. Because, you know, if it was Marsha Hines or someone like that, you'd be like, no. But if Ernie Dingo was running, I'd be like, hell yeah. Ernie Dingo, not only has he got a good knowledge of the globe from doing the great outdoors, but a little bit less smug than our current Prime Minister. I'm gonna go with him. I'm just saying.
Do you think he's gonna win?
Who, Ernie Dingo? Without a doubt. The guy's got it made.
All right, Suzie. Barack
love
Obama's chances?
Look, I reckon Americans are racist, but I also think they're very chauvinistic, and that can be seen by the fact that Barack Obama beat Hillary Clinton. And I reckon it's going to be...
You didn't think he was actually a better candidate? You think
I'm just saying, I'm not voting, I'm just saying that's what happened. And then I'd have to say it's probably a line call because there's a black man. I actually do think there's a problem with them being black. And I was actually listening to something on the radio on AM this morning, and I was saying how these American guys were going, oh, you know, I don't want to vote for Obama because he's just going to look after his own. So I still think there's an issue, but I think it's a line call because a black man or potentially an inexperienced soccer mum with 5 kids who could be as president when the old guy falls off the perch after 31 days.
True.
You know, really, I think they're going to go for Obama.
She's a pro-lifer who likes to shoot moose.
Yeah, I know she's a pro-lifer and she doesn't like sex education. Ah, seriously, I don't like her at all.
Okay, your money's on the line. Who's going to win?
Obama.
Okay.
I think Obama, but you know.
You're opening a book? How much will you give me?
What, you reckon McCain?
No, I don't reckon McCain at all.
No way. Oh, God, it's Obama.
Past it.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, who's going to win? Are you plugged into the American elections?
Can I say something? I think honesty is the best policy, and I haven't really been keeping up with this whole Obama thing. I can't really give you a full-on opinion, but I do live in Australia, and I completely disagree with saying that Australians are far more racist than any American in the States. I think that, how can you say that? I think we have much more education. I think we are not as ignorant as the Americans, and multiculturalism is a huge part of Australian culture.
That being said, there are a lot of stupid honkies here.
So I think the possibility of a black person being able to be in politics in Australia is much higher.
Well, we've had some
than the
good
US.
contenders as well. Aidan Ridgway, he was a good contender.
Yes, Ernie
Democrat. Ernie Bridge.
Not Ernie Dingo.
Not Ernie Dingo, but
Didn't run for anything.
not far away.
Come on, Marcus.
Oh, I reckon racism is an issue in Australia and the USA, just from reading and looking from afar. I think there is still, and look, it took us so long to say sorry. I'm not convinced that we're totally cleansed, so to speak, on that area. So
Yeah, we do have racism, but I think we have more knowledge and we're less ignorant.
we're getting
than
better.
a lot of
we're getting
places
better.
in the US.
But I
Getting
mean,
a lot better.
even accepting women in our political system has been difficult. It's taken a while to embrace that. So look,
And also it's when they put women in. It's like, you know, when they're about to lose, or
what is
you
that?
know, well, when they put women in leadership, it's often you know, Carmen Lawrence comes in, a fantastic, you know, politician. She comes in when they've got no hope after Brian Burke, or Kerner came in like that. I think Julia Gillard's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they've got
I love her. I
some
think
great
she's cool.
candidates. And look, we're crying out in Australia for an Australian
she's
Prime
fantastic.
Minister, female. But look, the USA election's over. It's done and done. If you could pick the Melbourne Cup winner as easily as you can forecast who's going to win, I mean, we're barracking for Barack anyway, really, aren't we? Look, given the US system, Ronald Reagan, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bill Clinton and his cigar, they've all been in the mix. I mean, we've got a colourful history there. I'm not surprised that there's there's a bit of controversy over all this, and I do fear for Barack on a couple of fronts.
Those fronts being?
His safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
I agree.
We'll see. Well, we hope his safety's not an issue, and we'll see what happens. We've only got a few weeks to wait too.
Thank
10
goodness.
days,
It's gone
isn't
forever.
it? 10 to 12 days, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
actually, yeah.
When we come back, we're going to talk about marrying off women when they're children. 12, 13, that sort of thing. Don't go away. Very interesting.
Just remember, when you tell it to somebody, you're telling it to everybody. Yeah.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Dear Gary, many cultures around the world marry off women at a very early age. And if we turn the clock back, not so long ago, it was commonplace for girls of 12 or 13 to be married off. My great-grandmother, who was born in 1898, was married at 13. When Jerry Lee Lewis, the entertainer, married his bride, she was only almost 13. Nowadays, if you suggest marriage or sex in the same sentence for young girls, you are labelled a pedophile. My point is that I see it very clearly that changing cultural values determine our standards. I know what I'm talking about because my somewhat immature 22-year-old son was courted by a very mature 13-year-old girl. I had to put a stop to it. It made him extremely unhappy, and yet she persisted to call and call. Still, this relationship was in everyone's eyes, including mine, not allowable. After witnessing the real separation anxiety by my son and the 13-year-old, I'm starting to question these entrenched values and perceptions. What does each of the panel think is correct? Martin of Glenelg in South Australia. Suzie, woman's view on this one first.
Well, first I just want to question sex and marriage and paedophilia. I'm not quite getting that. Maybe that's in
No, with regards to just young girls.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever. Look, I reckon cultural values do determine our standards, and I think we're allowed to vote now, and as women, we don't have to give up our jobs when we're pregnant.
You're allowed to vote?
I know, it's amazing.
Did I miss something?
I know.
What's going on here?
I do, and I do agree. That if my 22-year-old son was having a relationship with a 13-year-old, I'd be saying there's no way because you'll end up in prison and I'd have to go and visit you. So I would be stopping that too. But then I look at men that I know that are in their 40s and 50s, and a lot of them date women and are married to women that weren't even born when they were losing their virginity. So I think you just got to say to your son, just hang in there if you really love her. Whatever, yawn. When she's 18, have sex with her then.
I'd be locking everybody up until they were 30. Why would anybody want to be married?
Well, you were a virgin when you were 30. He just wants to really have sex with her. I mean, he doesn't actually...
I hope so.
Just wondering.
Lukey, what are you wondering about?
I'm sick of people judging on age for this stuff, because my partner and I have a big age difference, and everywhere we go we get weird stares, but I don't care that she's 83. The fact of the matter is, when she takes that bra off and her breasts fall down and slap against her thighs, I know it's love. I love that cougar. I love her dearly.
Oh, what a picture. Marcus.
The question is Mrs. Robinson more acceptable or a sugar daddy? I mean, we're going a step further than what this issue is about, but I'm not sure that the sugar daddy label is all that.
It's applauded.
It's applauded?
Applauded. And yet the Mrs. Robinson is actually always frowned upon,
Do you think so nowadays?
Yeah. Unless you're Demi Moore.
The whole milk thing's taken off.
Did you know
Look, that milk thing is absolutely so offensive.
Hang on, there's a website.
There's a website dedicated to cougars, to older women who are out and...
You mean MILFs?
To MILF. Older women that only want younger men.
What does MILFs mean?
Can we say that? Mothers I like to fuck.
Oh my gosh.
So when you walk down, they go, hey, mother, hey, you're such a MILF. I mean,
my mum's a MILF.
Community.
I know
She's gorgeous.
She really is,
Is that who you're dating? Is that who you're talking about?
Actually, it's your grandma. But the point is, we're happy.
Hang on. When do you draw the line? When is it too young to marry off someone?
18.
18?
I just think if you're 18, you're crazy.
I've got twin daughters. Give me a little bit of time with my kids.
So you say what?
35.
Yeah.
Give me something. They don't need a little. Look at teeth coming through.
That's 10 years. He'll be over them by then.
I'm actually feeling for Martin here because I get the feeling that Martin is struggling seeing his son suffer. Because I think he's saying that his son is actually suffering. But the thing is, you
He
said...
does say, though, his son was very immature.
Yeah, well, that's the point that I was going to get
dating
at.
a 9-year-old.
Well, that's my point. Well, that's my point. He's saying that his son is immature and that this 13-year-old is a mature 13-year-old.
She's still 13.
But how can you be mature at 13? Because maturity comes with experience. She doesn't have experience.
Lock
so
'em
I
up.
think you're doing the right thing, Martin. And
Yeah,
I know
I
that
agree.
it's hard to see your son suffer, but just explain it to him and he'll be okay.
Don't
You don't
reckon,
grow
though,
unless you suffer.
Don't you reckon that having a relationship's really about, you know, being able to share respect and equality and talk
Yeah.
about TV programs you watch when you were kids?
I wonder
mean,
what a 22-year-old
you know, like
with a
Gilligan's
13-year-old.
exactly.
Okay.
Fantasy Island, I Dream of Judy. Oh, we're the same age.
Max Smart. Yeah. Okay. Which of these letters do we like to give away our prize tonight? Who do we think was the best letter writer? All right.
I'm feeling for Martin.
But as I live in women, I'm quite used to just handing over the decision-making process. So, Danny, can you please tell us our winner tonight?
Yes, I'm feeling for Martin. I think poor Martin is suffering because of his son and he deserves
He's
a prize.
trying to do the right thing, Martin.
Martin
He is trying to do the right thing.
All right. Coming out to Martin, a pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alan Treves and Aussie Opticals. And we've got to go. Good night, Marcus.
See you, Mitch. Good to be here.
Great to have you. Good luck in the Spring Carnival.
We'll try and back a winner.
All right. What's your hit-miss ratio?
About 90-10 against.
So you're not the person to ask.
No.
All right, mate. We'll have fun anyway.
We'll do our best.
Great to have you here tonight.
Thanks for having me. I've had a ball. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, they're a good lot, aren't they?
Yeah, they're right.
yeah.
They're right. They're okay.
Come back.
Definitely.
Terrific. We'll be listening for you on
92.9
Perfect
Sunday
music
session,
station.
4 till 8, and nighttime every week.
and night time. Suzie, good night, my darling.
Thank you
Sorry,
for having me.
my gorgeous darling. My
Oh, gorgeous. It's okay, gorgeous. It's okay. You can call me gorgeous, but you're not a friends with benefits.
Lukey, what date?
November 8th for a reawakening. Or you can catch me doing stand-up November 10 through 14 in Subiaco.
Whereabouts in San Diego?
It's going to be at the Earthwise Centre. You can get tickets from ticketek.com.au.
Fantastic. We don't do plugs here, but there we go. Thank all our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night. Bye-bye.